All right, today we are diving deep into a really fascinating and, honestly, pretty rarely seen text. It's a handbook from the 1920s that breaks down Freemasonry's most profound ceremony, the Third Degree. You can think of it as a kind of secret blueprint for the soul, one that was designed to help people grapple with life's biggest, most intimidating questions. Now, to really wrap our heads around what this handbook is all about, we have to start with the huge question it was written to answer. What if the thing we fear most, mortality itself, isn't a wall we crash into, but actually a door we're meant to walk through? That one single idea right there is the key to everything we're about to unpack. And the author, J.S.M. Ward, he gets right to the heart of it. He says the whole point of this Masonic lesson is nothing less than this: to completely reframe how we see life's final moment, to turn it from something to be afraid of into a moment of powerful transition. And the way it does this is just fascinating. Ward calls the Third Degree the sublime degree, and he doesn't present it as some dry, stuffy ritual. No, he calls it a great adventure. It's a symbolic journey, you see, a universal story about the soul's search for its real purpose. So at the core of that adventure is something he calls the mystic quest. And really, it's that deep, innate human drive we all have to understand our place in the universe, to connect with something bigger than ourselves. For the Masonic candidate in this story, this is their official call to adventure. This is where the journey begins. Okay, so before this big adventure can even kick off, the candidate has to get ready. But we're not talking about physical preparation here. This is all about symbolically preparing yourself to enter a higher state of awareness. And one of the most interesting parts of this whole prep phase is Ward's interpretation of a key password. He argues that the letters TC are meant to symbolize worldly possessions, and that teaches a really powerful lesson right up front. If you want to move forward spiritually, you've got to be willing to let go of material things. And this right here is the transformation the whole ceremony is aiming for. According to Ward's guide, the candidate goes on a symbolic journey from a state of internal conflict, where your body, soul, and spirit are all pulling in different directions, to a state of harmony, where the spirit is finally in the driver's seat. So with all that preparation done, we finally get to the heart of the ceremony, a dramatic allegory. And the candidate doesn't just sit and listen to a story, they actually witness a symbolic drama about integrity, about facing trials, and about the ultimate sacrifice. The main character in this drama is a master builder, the brilliant architect of a magnificent temple. And he holds a profound secret. It's the key to his mastery, his wisdom, the whole shebang.
But of course, he's confronted by three antagonists. These guys represent the forces of ignorance, ambition, and fanaticism, and they are absolutely determined to get that secret out of him, one way or another.
And you can feel the tension just building. The master builder tries to escape the temple. He runs to the south gate, but he's blocked. He tries the west gate, blocked again. And finally, the east gate, same thing. There's just no way out of this confrontation.
And that's when the drama hits its peak. At high 12, the symbolic high point of the day, the master builder is struck down because he refuses to give up his integrity. This moment represents the ultimate trial, the darkest part of the hero's journey.
But here's the thing about this drama. Death is never the final word. It's actually the gateway. That whole ordeal is what makes the transformation possible. It leads to a totally new level of understanding.
And that brings us to the symbolic resurrection. The candidate is raised from the grave using a very specific grip, which Ward calls the lion grip. Now this is where it gets really, really deep. He actually traces this grip all the way back to ancient Egyptian mythology, linking this Masonic ritual to ancient prayers for rebirth addressed to the god Osiris. After this rising, a symbol of hope appears. A bright morning star rises, which signifies that the darkness is over. For the candidate, it's the promise of a brand new beginning, the enlightenment that can only come after you've been through the trial. So after all of that, what's actually been gained? Well, the candidate doesn't just walk out with some final, ultimate secret. That's not the point. Instead, they're given a set of symbolic tools and a whole new perspective to help guide them on what is now a lifelong spiritual quest. Take the Master Mason's apron, for example. According to Ward, it's basically a wearable map of this new spiritual state. The light blue color, that represents obedience. The three rosettes, they symbolize that new harmony between body, soul, and spirit. And the snake clasp, that's about being surrounded by divine wisdom. It's all right there. And this brings us to what might be the single most important lesson in this entire handbook.
Ward is crystal clear about this. The real secrets aren't actually revealed in the ceremony. The ritual isn't the destination. It's just the start of a personal journey to discover them for yourself.
Which leaves us with this final, powerful thought. If the ceremony gives you the map, and it gives you the tools, and it gives you the inspiration, but it doesn't give you the final answer, then the real journey has to take place inside of you. The quest doesn't end when you leave the lodge. That's the moment it truly begins.